What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, talking ban lists in this video, but not talking about like the June 12th ban list or anything of that nature. I'm actually talking about a point that Paul from Team APS made in his Dear Konami open letter video. It was a brilliant point, and it was my favorite point of the video. By the way, if you guys have not watched this video, please do. It'll be in the description of this video. It's basically about some of the ways that Konami can make the game better and some of the things that advanced players have wanted for quite some time. So he just kind of talks about those. But my favorite point of the video, and it was a really good one, is he says essentially Konami should explain the ban list to players. Maybe put out an article after the ban list goes into effect explaining some of the reasons why certain cards got hit or why certain cards are coming back, because a lot of times we have no idea what the fuck Konami is doing, why they do any of the things that they do, and it is honestly kind of frustrating. And I think that nothing negative would come out of this, and to be completely honest, the only reason I think that they don't do it on a consistent basis is I think Konami is just fucking lazy as a company. I mean, I said it. I think the guys who make the ban list in the TCG are just fucking being lazy. And if you see this video, please explain why you don't share that information with us. I think that so many good things will come out of it. For starters, we get a little bit of clarity, especially newer players or younger players. Like, it's one thing if you're somebody like me, you've been playing this game for like 15 years, you've been playing the game forever, you don't have to explain to me why Elder Entity Norden got hit. I mean, it's the best fusion monster ever printed. Obviously, it was ban worthy, but to a younger player, to a less experienced player, maybe they've been playing the game for like a year, maybe somebody who is in like Dragon Duels, these players still play under the same ban list when they go to regionals and whatnot. But how are they supposed to understand when crazy things happen, like when the Tyrant Neptune gets banned? Let me pull up my Yugioh Pro. I've got multiple examples of cards that got hit and like everybody was just kind of scratching their head, or I know that newer players wouldn't understand, less experienced players wouldn't understand. When Kaiser Coliseum got banned, I mean, even I was scratching my head like, what the hell? Yeah, after some time, I kind of took a step back and I thought to myself, okay, it kind of makes sense. It's a floodgate. You know, it basically devolves Yu-Gi-Oh into protect the castle, and you know, it stops players essentially from going into their extra deck, and usually it's played alongside you know, cards like Bujin Yamato and Cosmo Dark Destroyer, cards that are already pretty difficult to kill, and usually the main way of killing those cards is to going inside your extra deck, and with Kaiser Coliseum on the field, you can't do that. Plus, there's a lot of weird rulings with like, can I kaiju, can I not kaiju, no problem solving text, etc, etc. But it's like, if they just would come out and explain those changes, explain them to us, explain why they actually do them, not only could it add communication and a level of transparency that people have been asking for forever, but it would actually have a little bit of accountability associated with it, because if Konami hit a certain card, you know, and they said this is the reason why, but there was another similar card in the meta having the same impact and they kind of ignored it, it would be like, well, what the hell, Konami? I mean, you said that you hit this card for this reason, but you didn't hit this card for a certain reason. There's so many things that are going on in Yu-Gi-Oh where players have no idea as to why that is. Like, if you look at the Tyrant Neptune, right? So this card recently got banned, and yeah, I understand why it got banned because of the Lyra Luge Independent Nightingale play, but if you're just a player who got into the game maybe, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, you don't know about that shit. I don't expect you to know about all the combos that are in the OCG, because you probably don't, you have no idea what the OCG meta is or anything like that, and they banned the Tyrant Neptune before Independent Nightingale even came out in the TCG. So if you're a less experienced player, if you're a younger player, you have no idea of the reason why Tyrant Neptune got banned. You're probably just thinking to yourself, wow, I guess this company just like bans random ass cards. You look at some of the things that they've done recently, well, I guess on the upcoming ban list of all the pendulum support coming back to 3 essentially, and it's like they didn't explain that or anything like that. And the thing is, I think that even if Konami explained the ban list and some of their reasons were essentially motivated by being a business, I don't even think people would be all that upset. Like, let's look at the pendulum stuff, right? So all of the pendulum support cards are basically going to 3, and you know, it doesn't seem very fair because you've got archetypes like Insectors and Windups, and you know, their cards are still limited to 1 or banned. But Konami could easily come out, and this is just something I'm thinking of off the top of my head. They could say, well, pendulums over the last year have been in a really bad position. They haven't been doing all that well at YCS and regional events outside of the Metaphors archetype. Pendulum Magicians are kind of being countered by a lot of the meta cards, such as Anti-Spell Fragrance. We just brought back Imperial Order, and then we have Unending Nightmare, which is another card that is just doing a lot of damage to them. We wanted to restore them to some level of prosperity, especially considering that this is the same time as Nationals are going on, and we have the new Pendulum support set, Pendulum Evolution. I think that all of these things culminate into the deck possibly being strong again, and we'd like to see if it can see a rise in play. Something that simple could basically just suffice. You know, who would hear that and think, oh man, I'm really pissed off? But in layman's terms, that would be Konami saying, look, yeah, it's convenient that we're releasing a bunch of Pendulum support and we want you guys to buy it, so we're basically buffing a deck that is garbage. We all know Pendulum Magicians are garbage, and they completely deserve to be buffed. They completely deserve all of these cards going back to 3, but even if Konami kind of low-key said, yeah, we want Pendulums to be good and we want you guys to buy our new product, would anyone even be mad? Like, people wouldn't be mad. They would just appreciate the fact that you're being honest. And one of the things that really frustrates me is Konami has done this in the past. They've actually put out articles explaining the ban list, but it seems like they only do this when they make a controversial ban list, when they do something that pisses off a lot of the players and they're feeling the heat, they get a whole bunch of backlash, then they'll come out and they'll make their article. But if there's just a regular ban list, they don't feel the need to explain everything, and it's just kind of like, it feels lazy to me. It feels like, you know, Konami only responds to the Yu-Gi-Oh community when the Yu-Gi-Oh community is pissed off and they're cursing Konami out or something like that. You guys know I've done entire videos on the March 2012 ban list and how much blowback Konami got from that, how much pushback they got from that, and you know, lo and behold, like 3 days after the ban list went into effect, Konami had an entire article about it. If you guys remember last year, Performages and Pals, what they do, they made an emergency ban list for that, and then they made an entire article explaining it. Here's the article right here. So it's like, why do you only do this when, you know, you get a bunch of blowback from the community? When people are mad and they say they're gonna quit Yu-Gi-Oh and fuck Konami, then you feel the need to explain it. But you only make Konami, what, 2 ban lists a year, maybe 3 tops? Is it really that difficult to write, what is this, like a 3-paragraph article? It's like, seriously, 3 paragraphs 3 times a year, and you guys can't even give us that? So I play this game called League of Legends, right? And this is applicable with any fighting game, or probably not a sports game, but let's say you were playing like Street Fighter, right? And you went out and you got Street Fighter 5, and day 1, Ryu and Ken were just broken as shit. Like, Ken's uppercut did way too much damage, and Ryu's like Hurricane Kick, there was like a bug where it was like unblockable or something like that. They would probably, you know, try and patch the game, and they would say, okay, we're gonna make Ken's uppercut do 20% less damage because it's broke as hell right now. I play this game called League of Legends, and they basically do that. They have these things called patches, and every 2 weeks they release a patch, and just for these small patches that they do every couple of weeks, look how much shit that they type up. Konami can't do any of this. Like, seriously, they explain every single time. They're like, all right, we're gonna nerf this character's ability by 10%. They explain exactly why. You know, they'll say, all right, well, this ability does too much damage. Look at all of this explaining that they do, and they do this every couple of weeks. Konami can't do it once, you know, once every 6 months. Like, seriously, this is why a lot of people don't like Konami as a company. If you guys actually see this, it's because you don't take the time to do the smallest things that could have the biggest impacts. What negative could come from it? People could understand why certain things get hit. They could understand why certain decks are going to be, you know, playable, or why certain decks need boost or something like that. Because again, you can't expect everybody to understand your ban list logic and to interpret it as if they're a seasoned veteran or something like that. So I don't know. It's just one of the frustrating things about Konami, and I really wanted to discuss it. And I'm glad that Paul from Team APS brought it up. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think Konami should make articles consistently that explains the ban list? Because my thing is, I don't see any negative. I don't see any reason why they don't do it, and they would only have to do this maybe 3 times a year tops. Not to mention, they wouldn't have to explain every single thing. But when something like, you know, Kaiser Coliseum gets banned, just fucking explain it. Just say that it's an unhealthy floodgates, and everybody won't have questions. We won't all think that you guys are, you know, corrupt monkeys. So anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.